always is whenever you're playing with the bikes, the Koraidon versus the Miraidon. Two Pokemon that can just do so much damage to each other. And we're going to see off the bat a very offensive lead from CJ. It's the Koraidon and Fluttermane staring down Aiden's board control duo of the Iron Hands and Farigiraf.
Now, we do know Fake Out is probably, or more than likely, going to go into this Koraidon. But what is it that Farigiraf is going to do? Most likely Trick Room here. And of course, Fluttermane can't really do anything like Shadow Ball into that target because it doesn't have access. Oh, it actually is immune to ghost type attacks. But you know what it can do? It can use Taunt. It can completely shut down any Trick Room shenanigans. It comes to protect to deny Fake Out. And there goes the Taunt. Wait, there was no Fake Out, which means they predicted this. There might actually be a massive attack going into Fluttermane.
Yep, Aiden on his toes, knowing that the taunt can come out into the Farigiraf, doubles into this Focus Sash.
Nice! What a pickup! And then Koraidon did nothing this turn! Very, very excellent play here! Yeah, you don't want to get faked out, but that's not what we're doing here, first of all.
Yeah, a very strong first turn, but now CJ in a position where Trick Room is off the table. Fake Out off the table. You have the two faster Pokemon on the field with this GU and the Koraidon just threatening so much damage.
So much. It's criminal, honestly. We're going to see just what these Pokemon can do under these circumstances, especially with that Koraidon. You know what? Especially with GU, with the ability to debuffing the special defenses here, woo, it's going to be scary. And they're both faster? I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be Koraidon getting 2 Terastallization on turn 2 here, and you know, when you do have 2 faster Pokemon that are relatively frail, especially compared to what they're staring down on the other side of the field, you really have to get these kinds of turns right, and it's a Heat Wave miss into the opposing Farigiraf. Now just the Flame Charge left to go into that slot, and I think that's going to be enough. No KOs taken for CJ on this turn means that this Iron Hands and Farigiraf are just going to get free shots. Farigiraf taking advantage of the Beats and Ruin special defense drop with the Psychic, and Low Kick just cleaning up the Koraidon here.
GU is still in the prime position to take a double knockout next turn. I think that Heat Wave can do it with the Sun now, and of course that ability.
Yeah, you would think, you know, last turn, had the Heat Wave landed, it would have done at least, you know, this 30% damage to the opposing Farigiraf. Probably wouldn't have been enough to pick up the Iron Hands from that range, but you're going to be able to get another attack off into that slot, and you still do have options with this Lunala. You know, you have the Moongeist Beam, you have your Meteor Beam online with the Power Herb, you know, not yet consumed. But at this point in the game, it's just so difficult to plan ahead, having revealed all 4 of your Pokemon, being down to your final 2, and still not yet knowing what awaits you on the other side. And we're finally just seeing now one of the back Pokemon for Aiden.
I definitely love switching into Miraidon here to potentially take much less damage from this Heat Wave. Let's see how much it does. Yeah, very nicely taken, actually. Very nice. But this does mean we are going to get attacked by Lunala, which would also be a boost from the Meteor Beam.
Yeah, but it's going to be another 90% accurate move coming out from CJ's side. But the +1 boost built in on Meteor Beam, combined with the Beast and Special Defense drop into this Miraidon, it is
a
enough.
Knockout. Wow. But hey, this does mean we can bring back in our Iron Hands and possibly a follow-up. What's going to be a good Pokemon to bring into this field? I wonder.
Yeah, it's still a pretty precarious position, certainly for CJ. You have lost now that Meteor Beam on your Lunala. The only attack it can play consistently now is that Moongeist Beam. The good news, of course, is that you're staring down a Lunala on the other side that, as of right now, is 4 times weak to that Moongeist Beam, and an Iron Hands that already is below half of its health. Of course, the big difference here is going to be which Lunala is faster, and the fact that Aiden still does have Terastallization in his back pocket. Likely just going to be a very tight Terastallization for this Lunala to keep it safe for at least this turn.
Of course, there is Heat Wave being clicked from these 2 new. We definitely don't want to see a miss on either of these right now. There goes the Fake Out. That's a huge amount of damage. Whoa. But if we can just take out this Lunala on the opposite side, there might be a fighting chance here.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage coming through with that Moongeist beam into the opposing Lunala. Really very thankful for that Shadow Shield to reduce the damage there. And it's another Meteor Beam, and it will connect, taking out this
Gee,
turning this into a 2v1, but we have seen, at the very least, it's a speed tie that CJ's Lunala won on that last turn. It's a 2 versus 1, and the Lunala for CJ does still have that Shadow Shield intact.
yeah, this is definitely a tough situation. Here comes the Moongeist beam. It's going to go into Lunala. It does get the knockout. And now it's all left up to this one Iron Hands. Is this Wild Charge going to be enough? The terrain is out. There is Core Drive, not even a little bit.
No, with Shadow Shield still active, having that damage, not going to do it for this Iron Hands. And crucially also damaging the Iron Hands just about as much with that recoil damage. So if the +1 Moongeist beam wasn't a guaranteed KO from that last range, it certainly is going to be enough.
Especially after that critical hit. Oh my gosh. A little unnecessary roughness, but hey, you get some job done.
Yeah, so we do see it. After an explosive first couple of turns, things do kind of settle down to that end game, and CJ does walk away with the win in game 1, but it was really poised on a knife's edge for a large period of that game.
Actually, it could have gone either way, but luckily it favored CJ in this situation. And honestly, I don't even think Aiden did anything necessarily wrong, right? The plays were pretty crisp on both sides, and I honestly can't wait to see this next round. How does CJ change it up just to, throw a bit of a mix in there?
Yeah, it's these kinds of matchups, and especially the way these two players approach that first game, it's all about trading damage in ways that benefit your team. So, for example, turn 1, Aiden being able to pick up the knockout on Fluttermane without taking any damage on his side. That is a massive win. Then moving on to the rest of the game, you just need to then set up positions where Chi-Yu, where Rhydon can start getting free swings on your Pokemon, and things become a lot more difficult. We're going to see just both players run the leads back. It's the Iron Hands and Frigoraph staring down the Fluttermane and the Rhydon once again, and at this point, it's very interesting to see. We already have that one data point from game 1. How will these players adjust, and we're already going to see it. It's a Terastallization coming out from CJ's side. Going to be the Fire type on the Rhydon. Going to give it the same type attack bonus to its Fire type moves. Just going to be able to do so much damage as Fake Out does come out on this turn, calling that and a blast into this Frigoraph.
So much damage.
That is so much damage, doing over half of the Frigoraph's HP. And Aiden getting this one perfectly correct with the Fake Out and Trick Room play. Just a massive, massive advantage after turn 1. Both of these games for Aiden.
Honestly, I could see a Flare Blitz coming out here just to get a solid KO in this upcoming turn. Usually you'd want a Flame Charge here with your Koraidon in the first turn, but I don't think we're worried about speed at all. We can just start pushing in a ton of damage and just be okay with that.
Yeah, of course, with Trick Room being set up, you probably don't want to be making yourself any faster than you already are.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we did see in that first game that the double up of, say, a Psychic and a Low Kick is enough to knock out this Koraidon. We're going to see the Protecting Route from Fluttermane, Wild Charge plus Psychic going into that slot. So CJ getting this call correct right back. And it is going to be a Flare Blitz. Probably take a knockout regardless of the slot. Into the Iron Hands with Terrifier Life Orb in the sun.
Yeah,
that is one hit KO
that's
on one of the
KO.
bulkiest Pokemon in the format.
Yeah, that's the ooh, that recoil wasn't too nice about it though. Ooh, yeah, oh my goodness. Okay.
The one drawback, of course, with Koraidon is that the price of taking a KO is either you drop your defenses by one stage or you
drop your HP.
Yeah, or you lose about 2/3 of your HP.
Yeah, sounds about right. But hey, with Trick Room up, this is a good opportunity here for a counter attack, especially with Growl in play here. I think Protect definitely makes sense here, since you don't want to go ahead and swap into big damage. Fluttermane can definitely threaten a decent amount of damage too, and is probably more than likely going to survive an attack as well.
Yeah, well, it's, the Fluttermane does, of course, still have that Focus Sash available to it. So it's going to take 2 attacks, say the double up from the Psychic and a Moongeist Beam in order to pick up that KO. The really big benefit for CJ here, of course, is that, number 1, they're ahead in Pokemon count, and there's no way for Aiden to take knockout on both of these Pokemon. We don't see the double protect, we don't see any protection come out from CJ here. Resigning the fact that Aiden will most likely take 1 KO this turn. As the Meteor Beam comes out, it's going to go into that Fluttermane as well. Clean up that slot, but by not protecting your Koraidon, you just get 1 more swing off with it on this turn.
Resigning to the fact that, hey, I'm going to lose a Pokemon here anyway. They're going to choose which one it is. Let me get damage either way. And what a disgusting amount of damage that and a burn. How insulting.
Wow, just so much damage. We are going to see the Koraidon go out on its own terms with the Flare Blitz recoil plus the Life Orb taking 10%. So just like that, I said there was no way that Aiden could take 2 KOs on that turn. But CJ said, I can help you out on this one.
We're still correct. We're still correct.
Yeah. So we're still good. But it's going to be just the same back 2 Pokemon for CJ. And this one is the Chi-Yu with the Choice Scarf item. Not terribly comfortable under Trick Room. And the Lunala. Crucially, Aiden did already dispose of that Power Herb item on the Lunala.
Sure did.
Now you don't have the option to click a Meteor Beam into the Chi-Yu and have it activate on the same turn. You do have a Moonblast. You can click it, and potentially a Helping Hand Terra Fairy Moonblast into the Chi-Yu, I would think, should be enough to pick up that KO, but you're committing so many resources there where the other Lunala is really getting nothing into.
Nice, using the foul play here just to break that Shadow Shield, and now we're going to see a massive strike from the Moongeist here into a knockout in the Lunala's slot. It's all up to Chi-Yu now.
Yep, and the Chi-Yu going to click this Snarl. It's super effective into both Pokemon, takes both KOs, and turns it into a 1v1. And I have a feeling we're going to be looking at 2 Choice Scarf Pokemon on this last turn of Trick Room.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's the fastest? We'll see. Trick Room's going to make it the opposite, of course. It's Urshifu!
Oh, and it...
What a call.
On that switch up. This Urshifu has been the MVP all tournament long and comes out at the perfect time to seal up this game number 2 for Aiden. Going to be, number 1, slower than his Choice Scarf Chi-Yu, so moving first under Trick Room with the Focus Sash item, even if Trick Room wasn't up, and going to be able to easily take that 1-hit KO with a close combat.
I definitely echo that MVP status. Aiden has won every game that this Urshifu appeared in.
Yeah.
It has actually been doing so much work. And it's Urshifu. It's one of the best Pokemon in the game. The most overtuned even. I mean, it's not no Incineroar, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
Incineroar at least operates within the rules of the game.
Right.
The Urshifu...
Does it?
That's fair. Because the Urshifu does not regard your protects.
Nope.
It will survive any attack. You can click a fairy move into it with the Focus Sash and it's still fine. But a fantastic switch up from Aiden's side. And, in retrospect, he seemed very confident in getting that Trick Room up. Seemed to at least be in CJ's head from that first turn, knowing, even if it's the same lead, there's not a taunt coming out into my Fergaraf.
Absolutely.
I can get Trick Room up. I can make sure my Urshifu is well positioned under there. Not even bringing the Miraidon.
Nah, not even. And honestly, you know what? I kind of liked the 4 that CJ brought last game, and I actually loved the 4 that Aiden brought. I don't even want to see changes in them flow, but I'm going to get them.
Yeah, we're going to see changes on both sides. It's the Urshifu and Lunala on Aiden's side, staring down this Fluttermane and Chi-Yu. Just 2 best friends.
Best of buds.
History will remember Fluttermane and Chi-Yu as just really, really, really close friends.
Absolutely.
As they are on the field together, Fluttermane with the Focus Sash item, this Choice Scarf on Chi-Yu. Every Pokemon here really has a way to prevent being 1-hit KO'd out of this Chi-Yu. Between Shadow Shield and Focus Sashes, it's really just shaping up for another very explosive first turn, as there is Oko potential all across the board here. Fairy moves into Urshifu, goes for Dark Moves into the Lunala and the Flutter Mane. As it's Heat Wave, Moonblast. Well, there goes your MVP.
There goes your MVP. Not all titles are meant to last, but hey, we're going to see what Moondice Beam, or Meteor Beam, excuse me, is going to do here.
Yep, it's an immediate Meteor Beam from this Lunala, taking very little damage from that Heat Wave because of Shadow Shield. Fired off into this GQ, and will pick up the one-hit KO, trading Dark Type for Dark Type, while breaking Shadow Shield from Lunala and getting 0 damage on CJ's Flutter Mane.
Absolutely. So this is a pretty even trade still going here. Fake out support is definitely going to be loved here, as Koraidon can still take that fake out. But they took advantage of this before, so let's see if they can do that again.
Yeah, well, this is where Aiden, being a much more offensive Lunala, comes back to bite you just a little bit. There's no Trick Room option on this Lunala. So you don't have the ability to, say, click Fake Out plus Trick Room and really punish a double protect on CJ's side. So, if you're CJ, you can just protect both Pokemon here. There's no way for Aiden to, you know, boost any of his stats of his Pokemon, set Trick Room, change the turn order. You know, it becomes a very kind of solved game state at that position. Now we're just going to move into the next turn with Shadow Shield still broken on Lunala, and now no Fake Out active on Aiden's side, staring down 2 Pokemon that are much faster and have a ton of damage potential.
We also got a ton of information here because now I know what your targets are. I know what you want to attack, I know what you want to do, and there's not much you can really do to stop what I'm going to do.
Yep, looks like CJ committing to the Terra Fire on Koraidon most likely, but you're deciding on what that fire move of choice will be this turn. Now, you can, between these 2 Pokemon, the Iron Hands and the Lunala, I'm not certain any one hit will be enough to knock out either one of them,
No,
but
not even.
you do have the potential to pick either KO you'd like. No protects available for either of Aiden's Pokemon.
Unless you see a crit, like we'd have to see a really big crit.
Now it's going to be Moonblast into the Lunala, doing a good chunk of damage, and a Flame Charge. Likely going to be enough to pick it up, and it will, from just under half of its HP. Raising Koraidon's speed, very crucial if there's, say, something like the Miraidon still in the back on Aiden's side. This Iron Hand's still at full HP.
Oh, big damage. And you know what? That was crucial. Not going for something like that Flame Charge excuse me, that Flare Blitz last turn, because we don't take all that recoil here.
Yep, and instead it is just going to be this Farigiraf. I don't think the Pokemon that's going to be able to carry you out of this game
Is a Farigiraf. Nope, not even a little bit. I think we just double target down this Iron Hands, take it off the game, and we can handle a Farigiraf pretty well. Like, we're not too stressed about the damage it puts out.
Yeah, there's, I think not a lot. You know, I think you can take either KO this turn with a combination of Moonblast and Flare Blitz, and you're in a pretty solid position. We are going to see Terrestrialization come out. You know, it's going to be the bug type Terrestrialization, Iron Hands, not being weak to, say, a Moonblast anymore, and now gaining that fighting type resistance for a close combat potentially into that slot. But we did see CJ not targeting the Iron Hands at all. It's just going to be Moonblast and Flare Blitz into the Farigiraf, and we saw this kind of Flare Blitz one-hit KO in Iron Hands. I think it's going to be able to do about 55% to this Farigiraf.
Approximately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a roll.
Yeah, for sure.
for sure.
Koraidon once again taking itself out on its own terms and leaving the Iron Hands to click a low kick into this Flutter Mane. I don't think the low kick's going to be the move that'll get you out of this tight spot either, with the 2 Ghost types on CJ's side as well.
Honestly, I'm pretty confident in saying that this is a nice, clean end game for CJ. They're going to go ahead and Moonblast into the slot and do a nice big amount of damage with Meteor Beam.
Now the Meteor Beam now super effective into the bug type Iron Hands should be enough, you know, say 90% of the time.
90% of the time.
Should be able to win the game right here. And, you know, honestly, I'm just glad we got to see a set between 2 Lunalas. Wow!
It's a roll.
It looked like it was, but you know, with the Wild Charge recoil coming out from attacking into the Flutter Mane, the that should do it. And again, I'm just thankful that we got to see a set between two Lunalas when Zero missed me.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was a good game for sure. Tough fought. Aiden definitely showed their merit. Urshifu doing as much as they can, but this is the game where it went down too quickly. And the MVP wasn't there to save you.
No, the Urshifu in the early game was not really built to beat those faster Pokemon, the Fluttermane and the Chi-Yu.
Right.
You know, those two strong special attackers. Going to move CJ on into the finals of our tournament. I'm not sure if we know who their opponent will be in finals yet. I'm not sure if we know who CJ's opponent will be in finals yet. That match is still going on. But we should have that for you here right after this break. Don't go anywhere.